My roommate turned our dorm into a biohazard so extreme that health inspectors declared our dorm room a literal crime scene. I met my roommate the day we moved into our dorm room, and for her sake, let's call her Brianna. First impression, she seemed normal at first, quiet, kept to herself, and said she was majoring in psychology. Her side of the room was cluttered but not alarming. Clothes in piles, textbooks stacked haphazardly, empty water bottles collecting on her desk. I'm naturally tidy, but I figured we'd find a compromise. The first week was fine. We established basics, quiet hours, when friends could visit, how we'd split the mini fridge. She agreed to everything with this eager-to-please smile. Whatever works for you works for me, she'd say. By week 3, the smell started. Sour, musty, like something rotting. I asked Brianna about it. Oh, I think it's the dorm ventilation, she said. Old buildings, you know? But it kept getting worse. Her side of the room became a disaster zone. Dirty clothes everywhere, food containers piled on every surface, her bed unmade for weeks at a time. I'd find half-eaten takeout containers shoved behind her desk, drinks spilled and never cleaned up. The fruit flies came in October, dozens of them, hovering around her side of the room. I couldn't study, couldn't sleep without them buzzing around my face. I went to the resident assistant, Jonah. He seemed sympathetic. Have you tried talking to her? Multiple times. She says she'll clean but never does. He sighed. I can have a conversation with her, but unless it's a safety violation, housing won't approve a room change. We're at capacity. Jonah talked to Brianna. She cried, apologized, promised to do better. For 3 days, she cleaned. Then it went right back. By November, I was spending every night at the library. I couldn't be in that room. The smell made me gag. I'd wake up with fruit flies on my pillow. My clothes started smelling like her side of the room no matter how much I washed them. I went back to housing, filled out the room change request form. The housing coordinator, Phillips, barely looked up from her computer. Room changes are only approved for documented conflicts or safety issues. This is a safety issue. There's mold growing. Has a maintenance report been filed? I hadn't known I needed to do that. She handed me another form. Fill this out. Maintenance will inspect within 7 to 10 business days. I filed the report. A maintenance worker came 2 weeks later, glanced around for maybe 90 seconds and said, "Looks like normal college mess to me." He didn't check under the beds, didn't look in the closet, didn't see the black spots creeping up the wall behind her dresser. His report said, "No issues found." I showed the report to Phillips. "Without documented problems, we can't approve a transfer. Have you considered mediation with your roommate?" I wanted to scream. Instead, I went back to the dorm and started sleeping in the common room. My grades dropped. I was exhausted, stressed, getting sick constantly. My mom called housing and got nowhere. "Your daughter needs to work out roommate conflicts like an adult," Phillips told her. December came. I'd given up. I was just trying to survive until winter break. Then one morning, I woke up on the common room couch to screaming. I ran down the hall. Our door was open. My RA, Jonah, was standing in the doorway with his hand over his mouth. 2 other girls from our floor were looking in, horrified. I pushed past them. The smell hit me first so strong I actually gagged. Then I saw it. Brianna had finally moved her bed to pack for break. Underneath was a nightmare. Moldy food containers, some dating back to September. Plates with food so decayed I couldn't identify what it had been. Wet towels and clothes covered in black and green mold. Jonah immediately called campus safety. They called environmental health services. Within an hour, the entire 3rd floor was being evacuated. Health inspectors in protective gear went into our room. They came out with bags of hazardous waste. The inspection report was damning. Black mold, insect infestation, biological hazards, structural damage to the flooring from moisture. The room was condemned. The entire 3rd floor was closed for remediation. 20 students displaced 3 days before finals. And everyone knew it was because of our room, because of Brianna, because housing had ignored me for 3 months. The university paid for emergency housing. I testified at a student government hearing that changed housing policies. I haven't heard or seen Brianna since, but her smell still lingers in my nose.